Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Misty at Skeeter Jones, and this is a bonus video where I'm going to finally review the SmartPro Gem Eye 1 gem tester that I got and filmed the unboxing for last week, and I already uploaded that. I'll include a link to that video in the description of this one in case you missed it. But in this video, I'm actually taking it apart, describing what I see, comparing it to my Presidium, and testing it out and seeing if it does the job and if it's going to be a good replacement at about half the price of buying a new Presidium, which if you've watched a few of my more recent videos, you'll know that I knocked the Presidium off the table and broke it, and that's why I needed to replace it in the first place. I'm going to go camera down and show you first what came with the Presidium and how it gets packaged together in its case, and then I'll do the same thing with the SmartPro Gem Eye 1, and then I'll go through the powering up and calibration steps and then test some gems and see if I get good results. So let's dive right in and see what we got. First, I'm going to show you what all came with my Presidium when I got it. Here's the soft-sided case, here's the unit. This is probably an oxidation cloth, which I thought I didn't get one of those with the Presidium, but when I was preparing for this video, I found that in the case. This is an international converter, and here are all of the little items of paperwork that came with it, and the little pin, little tool that's used for calibration, and the power supply and the probe are all right. So there's the power supply, here is the probe, and here's how it all goes together. This is the pocket for the paperwork. There's the international warranty, the guide for calibration, the quick guide, which is sort of like the quick start guide. This card contains the code for downloading the full user guide. And all of the paperwork fits into this little pocket. Everything is a pretty tight fit. Okay, and then the little calibration tool goes in there also. And I suppose you can put this cloth in there as well. It was just, I just had it here in the bottom. Then the unit itself, which you can see, since it broke, it's just perpetually stuck there on jadeite. Sometimes it might be over on topaz, but you know, it just won't do anything. So there's that. So the unit goes into the case here. The international converter, I guess you just find a spot for it. It could go in the pocket here. I guess that'll be the most logical place for it. And then the power supply, I just do a little back and forth with the cord. And this is whenever it was not being used and I had to store it. This is the steps I would go through. And everything is pretty much just squeeze it in where you can with this case. And then the probe likewise. I don't like to, have a sharp bend where cords attach to electronic things because then it creates a little spot of wear. So I was very careful to not let it bend over right there. And the case or the little cover for the probe, actually I forgot to bring it down for the video. Normally I would have the cover on the probe also. So it's just a little tight squeeze for everything, and then the U-zip it shut. And so there is how my Presidium came. So let's compare that to the new SmartPro Gem Eye 2, or Gem Eye 1, excuse me, SmartPro Gem Eye 1 that I got to replace my broken Presidium. It was working fine, the Presidium was, when I decided to replace it. The reason I decided to replace it is because I knocked it off the table accidentally and it broke. And I was looking for a US distributor for another Presidium when I came across the SmartPro Gem Eye 1, which was about half the price. So I thought I would give it a try. I got it within a few days of ordering from a U.S. distributor. It is made in Thailand, I believe. So it came packaged with the desiccant to keep everything nice and safe from humidity. And in the package, I'll put a link to the video where I unboxed this. But inside the package then was the little bag with the paperwork, which includes the auto calibration instructions, the international warranty, and the user guide. And then here you can see roughly half the price of the Presidium, which was about $400 when I bought it. And here is the case that it comes in. Let's see if I can add a little extra light to what we're doing here. I'm having to prop my camera up because my tripod, of all things to break, my tripod broke. So I'm propping my camera up in a kitchen cabinet. So there we go. So I'm propping up another light right here next to it. That's a little better. Okay, so it's a little hard-sided case. It's covered in fabric. And there it is. There's a little, I really like that there is a spot for everything. It's not just a squeeze things in where you can type of proposition. The readout, the display here is very similar. Trying to get the glare off of that. It's very similar to what you would see on the Presidium if you're used to that. Of course, everything's laid out in the same way. It works with the thermal readouts just like a Presidium does. Both the Presidium and the SmartPro Gem Eye claim the thinnest probe in the industry, so I don't have a caliper small enough to measure that, so I don't know whose claim is correct or who made the claim first. But anyway, here's the unit, and the power supply is in this little bag. Of course, I won't keep it in the bag once I have put this item into use. This bag is going to go its merry way. There's the power supply. There's also, which I really appreciate, this little plate for holding smaller stones and beads to keep them from rolling around when you're trying to test them. Then if you're holding it, of course, that's going to alter the temperature of the item that you're testing, and then that can interfere with the results of the test. And this is the probe tip oxidation removal sheet, and that's what I was referring to, the black cloth in the Presidium. I don't remember getting that with the Presidium. I may have and just don't recall it, but there is definitely one here, and it is for removing oxidation from the tip of the probe, which again is something else that can interfere with your results if that's allowed to build up. Then right here, there's a separate little pocket for the probe. And it looks very similar to a Presidium probe. Very similar. And that is a very thin probe. Doesn't look any different really to me than the Presidium as far as the way it would function with the small probe. And I've already read a little bit online about it. You push it down the same way. There's sort of like a springiness to it, like there is with the Presidium probe. And you push it down against the stone that you're testing. So there it is. I really like the case, how it is, there's a space for everything. You're not having to just cram everything together. So the SmartPro wins in that department. So I'm going to replace some things back into the case. And I'm going to plug it in now, and I will take a look at the quick start guide, and I will be right back. Okay, so I decided to just do it in real time rather than read ahead and try to fake like I knew all along what I was doing. So I just removed this. I thought this was for removing oxidation from the probe tip, but actually this is. It's a little card Place the probe tip onto the sheet and apply minimal force and twist to remove oxidized copper to get a proper and faster reading. And this isn't like it builds up and then you have to remove it. I started reading a little bit of the instructions, and it says the first time you use it, and if you haven't used it in a week, then you need to remove oxidation. So it says first to make sure the unit is switched off, and then to point the tip onto the paper perpendicular and move it in a circular motion without applying force, without retracting the tip, meaning the little metal, you can see it there, the little metal probe. So without any force. Okay, it says to repeat that motion several times. I don't know if it means to go just several revolutions with it and then you're done, or to do it and stop a few times, but I think that will probably do the trick. Then you make your connections. Now I've already plugged in. It says to make sure the cover is on when you plug in the probe, which I've already done that here on the side. And I have plugged in the power adapter. It can run on batteries, but I don't have those in. I'm going to run it with electricity. And first I have to warm it up. So let's plug it in. And then it says to warm up the tester and wait while the probe is warming up. So, oh, there's the power right on the front. And in case you didn't hear that little beep, that was it turning on, and there's a green indicator light. So it says the needle indicator should move smoothly from 0 to 7 2 times. I didn't notice if it did or not. I'll look at that in playback. But it says the LEDs will run while it's warming up, and they're doing that. And it says wait for the Bluetooth LED and the first green light to light up together. Okay, and they've just done that. And then it says to clean the glass and the simulant test disc. Okay, and that's these right here. And it looks like the glass test disc is on the little bead holder here. Oh, yeah, and I see, I don't know if you can tell or not, there is glass in there. There, maybe you can see that little reflection. Okay, so clean to that and clean to that. And now it's time to calibrate. When the Bluetooth LED and the first green LED lights are on, remove the cover and test the glass and wait to finish the first calibration. Okay, let's see what's going to happen here. Do not remove the probe onto the glass until the first green is turned off. The needle should reach within the glass line position. Oh, I had it on the metal. Okay, I'm not sure if I did that well because I was reading instead of watching this, and the probe tip actually traveled to the little edge between the glass and the metal. But we'll see what happens. If we don't get good results, I'll start over and calibrate it again. But I'll include this little flub in the whole video just so you can see the whole run through. Now the simulant disc calibration, this one actually, if I recall correctly, can determine between a simulated stone and like a moissanite and a diamond, which I'm not sure if the Presidium can do that. I think it cannot, but I should have read up on that before I started the video, but we're going to keep going. So when the Bluetooth LED and the 6th green LED lights are on, do the simulant test. Now I saw those on, so I think what I'm going to do is power the thing off right now. Yeah, because I fell out of the steps. So let's start over. So I'm going to power it on, and again it'll move smoothly from 0 to 7 2 times, and then the LEDs will run while it warms up. So there's one time that it runs from 0 to 7, and it says it will go 2 times. Now again, we did start the thing and then turn it off and start over, so that could be affecting this. Wait for the Bluetooth LED and the first, there it goes the second time, and the first green LED to light up together. So there they are. I have already cleaned the testing things, but I'll just do that again just for the sake of going through all the steps. And then with these lights on, test the glass disc and wait to finish the first calibration. Do not remove the probe until the first green is turned off. Okay, here we go. All right, this is going to get a better result because I don't have the probe down touching the metal. Okay, and there it is. Now, when the Bluetooth LED and the 6th green LED are on, then test the simulant test disc and wait to finish the final calibration. Do not remove it until the blue LED is off, and it should be within cal, which it is right there, the little red dot that it's going through, that's the calibration dot. I should have zoomed in a little bit on that, but right here's the calibration dot, and that's where the needle was. So it is calibrated. There will be beep sounds with a blink of LEDs until the calibration is done. Prior to testing, clean the gemstone to be tested with a clean cloth to have accurate results. If the calibration is unsuccessful, restart the tester and recalibrate. So it looks like the calibration was successful. So I'm going to move the testing things out of the way. The testing for the Presidium is on board. You know, it's like right here, the 2 testing things for the Presidium. And there's not simulant and glass. There's a calibration, or I think it's just called calibration and glass. So we're moving all of these things out of the way. And now what I'm going to do is take some items that I know are, let's keep the cloth over here. These are some items that I have listed that I know are gemstones. So we're going to see what kind of results we get. First, I know that this is a diamond here. This is my wedding ring. It's on my pinky because I have some swelling in this knuckle. So you have to take your jewelry off when you're doing ceramics and pottery, which I do. And because the clay can actually pull stones out of your jewelry, and it can just ruin your jewelry. So anyway, I couldn't get my ring off anymore, so I pried it off the last time I went to ceramics a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't want to risk not being able to get it off the next time I went. So now I'm wearing it on my pinky with a little snuggie to keep it from falling off. But here is a diamond, and let's see what kind of results we get. Let's zoom in right here and see what happens. I'm trying to get this all in the frame. That's with no pressure, and now there's with a little bit of pressure, and it went straight to diamond. Nice, so that one worked. Let's pull a few things out and see what we get. Some of these, I don't remember exactly what the stone is. I know some of these, and I know that's an amethyst, and this is a sapphire, and here's some jade. Okay, and here's some quartz, and I think there's some spinel in this. So let's get right off the bat with this. Let's see. This is a purple sapphire. Let's get it right there. It's a starburst one, I think. but I'm not really seeing the starburst in it. Actually, this may be amethyst. I can't remember if it's amethyst or sapphire, but we're about to find out. Let's see. Yes, it is sapphire, as I believed. And it is working great. It's given me great results so far. It picked my diamond right off the bat. It went just below diamond until I put a little pressure on it. But I was looking in two places at once. Let me try it again. This is with no pressure. And this is with a little pressure. Well, this time it's not going. Oh, there it goes. Okay, and I like how the needle stays over there for just a second. With the Presidium, the needle goes back as soon as you remove it from the stone. This is an amethyst and some mother of pearl and a sterling necklace. Let's see what happens here with the amethyst. And it goes straight to the quartz citrine amethyst line. Kind of a little higher than middle on that line. So I'm going to call it. I'm getting great results here. And that's 2 out of 3. I'm wondering a little bit about those diamond results. I might try that again and maybe try calibrating again and see if I get like a quicker result there without putting the pressure in. Let's see, this has these earrings. By the way, anything you might be interested in purchasing, these are things that I have listed currently in eBay, but I will sell them from this video. If you are interested in them, just let me know. These, I believe, are rubies in these earrings. I'll have to look back at my listing. Yes, they are rubies, as it shows there. I cannot recall what those are. I think those actually might be just turquoise, which won't really show anything. Let's see, and that's some more rubies. And then these greens might be emerald, I think. The only one I really recall on these earrings, because I listed them a while back, is the ruby. And now that I'm trying to do this, I do remember that this was pretty hard to test the first time when I first made the listing. Okay, that is my little indication, I think, that I touched the metal. Well, okay. Now it might be the thinnest probe in the industry, but it's not as thin as this tiny little chip of, I think, emerald. Okay, I'll try that again another time, but it did pop straight up onto the ruby. I also have here some rose quartz. Let's see if it goes up to that quartz line. Okay, now it doesn't, oh there it is, the quartz, citrine, and amethyst. And, well, actually this goes right up into the jadeite, which it could be jadeite. I'll have to look back at my listing. Okay, well maybe it's because my fingers were interfering with it, because now it's going straight to quartz. Let's try one without me holding it. Let's get this little item right here and try it with this. Anybody who's tried to film gem testing on something that rolls around can probably really appreciate how useful something like this is. Okay, so I'm not touching the actual stone that I'm trying to test right now. And it does go straight to quartz. Nice. Okay. So that's my rose quartz. Everything is testing up really nicely. If you are interested in anything here, you can just contact me, skeeterjonesthings at Gmail, and I invoice through PayPal. And we will just work out all the details there. You do not have to have a PayPal account. You can pay through PayPal as a guest. Okay, this is jadeite, and it's a large, look how big that is. That's a large jadeite heart. And there it is. Okay, I'm really enjoying this. Can't find the bag that this came out of. Oh, there it is. So I'm really enjoying the fact that this was about half the price. I'm getting great consistent results. This is just a beauty. It's one of my favorite pieces that I have. This is smoky quartz, and these are faceted labradorite and sterling. This is a sterling setting. And when I first bought this, I only saw it online and I thought this was a big hunk of faceted labradorite. But then when I got it and saw the back, I thought, oh, well, it's just shell with maybe some glass over it. But then I tested the front and it tested for a stone. I cannot remember what stone. Labradorite, I believe, only tests as glass. It does. And this, I believe, is smoky quartz, if I remember correctly. Yes, go straight up to the quartz line. So this is smoky quartz. This is labradorite, and labradorite will only show up as a glass on a gem tester. This showed up maybe a spinel, if I remember correctly. It showed up as some kind of stone. Quartz, citrine, amethyst, or yeah, it's in the jadeite spinel area right there. So it's, I think, shell on the back, and then maybe spinel here on the front that's been faceted and polished. But this is one of my very favorite pieces. Labradorite is by far one of my favorite stones. I just like the flash and the depth to them. I don't know why I brought this. This is another labradorite bracelet that I have, but it wouldn't show up on the tester. So this, I think, is some kind of, oh gosh, this is an agate, I believe. It's showing up in the glass line, which it could be glass. Yeah, this I know is glass here. This is a sea glass inside here. Okay, so we're not going to get any reading from that because I think it's probably not a gemstone. And let's see, garnet. This has garnets. This is mother of pearl, and then the four little corners there are garnets. And there it goes, straight to the garnet line. Oh, until it hit the metal, until I hit the metal with the probe. I think maybe you have to wait a second before you try again. Yep. And there it is. Almost touching the garnet line. Yeah, it's looking to me like you need to give it a second before you try again. Okay, there we go. So those I know are garnets, and it's showing up garnet. And then just for kicks, I don't remember if these are gemstones at all. So I brought these just to see what happens when I test them. They could be glass. Okay, no, we've got quartz, citrine, amethyst, tanzanite, aquamarine here on this dark blue. There it is, the dark blue stone. This little peachy one. Shows up as a glass. The little light green one here. That'll be something to get used to. It wants to wait a second before you do a second try on something. Okay, this one isn't even registering as glass. Okay, the yellow is showing up as garnet tourmaline iolite. This green one here I think is just glass. Yeah, and this, is that purple? I think this is purple. Also glass. And then this little kind of variegated striped one here is also in the garnet tourmaline iolite. So we've got some gemstones here. What's something different? Oh, here's one. This is probably glass, I think. Yes. Let's try this little light green one more time. Yeah, that's also glass. And then one last piece here. This is gold tone, maybe brass, adjustable bracelet. So we're getting glass on the blue one. The brown one is also glass. Maybe these are just faux gemstones. Oh. And wait just a minute. Yeah, it looks like all of these are just glass, but it is still a very pretty bracelet. And all of these items are in my listings, as I mentioned, but I will sell them here through YouTube. I would much rather sell items to my viewers and subscribers here at a discount from what I list them on eBay for. So just contact me, skeeterjonesthings at Gmail, if you're interested in any of the things I tested today. But a final review of the SmartPro Gem Eye 1 gem tester. 2 big thumbs up. I love this thing. I got great results, and it was about half the price of a Presidium. And all I can say is, where were you all my life? So let's try this diamond again. And there it goes straight to the diamond line. So perfect. So SmartPro Gem Eye 1, 2 thumbs up. I recommend it over the Presidium. Not that the Presidium is a bad product. I really liked it. I got great results with it. But at 2 times the price and a very cramped storage case, the Gem Eye 1 has a leg up there. And then I like the calibration and testing process better. And then I'm going to read more about it, and I'll report in a later video what I find out, because I seem to recall something about the SmartPro Gem Eye 1 being able to test between diamond simulants and real diamond. So let me know what you think. Please just drop in the comments. Let me know what you think about the pieces that I tested here, and what you think about the SmartPro versus the Presidium. Let me know what your experience has been if you've ever used a SmartPro or any other one. Let me know what you think, and just your overall thoughts of the video in general. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, I ask that you would give me a thumbs up, that you would subscribe if you haven't already, share it with someone else who you think might also enjoy it, and leave me a comment. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.